Man is not only physical, but also exists in other forms. Life on this physical planet is only a very, very small part of the entire picture. The limits of a man's life on earth is just the small part of his journey. What we call death here is just another link in a very long chain. It is not the end as we see it, but actually close to the very beginning. The period between physical birth and death of a man is less than 1% of his journey.
Welcome to Epignosis, the teaching ministry of Chris Morka. May the light of God illuminate your heart, and may the truth make you free as you listen.
We are born on a particular day. Just like every other person, we grow up to become old enough to attend school. Going from one class to the next, we progress through our primary, our secondary school, and then to tertiary institutions to finish up with our formal education. Then we pursue a career, or start our own business, or find a job, work for a number of years. Then marriage comes up. The need to start a family. One thing leads to the next. One day, hey, we're married. Then comes kids. Now, if things go normally, the kids will start to come within a couple of years. Then comes the pressure of raising the children, the costs for the fathers, the worries and the shouting for the mothers. I once heard someone call that period of life the barking years, because every mother raising kids can't help shouting all the time. Then eventually, after years of toiling, the kids grow up. And then they go their own way, only to repeat this same process all over again, while we now grow old and eventually die. The entire thing seems to be a constant repetition, over and over again. These cycles take place in every life that is born on this planet. We are born, we go through these stages only to die. Then the next generation repeats it all over again. World without end, it seems to be. This is the question. If we are only going to die, why then are we born in the first place? What is the point of all the efforts and the challenges we go through in this life? Are we all playing a part in a drama presentation meant for the amusement of God, as the Greeks believe? If not for the entertainment of higher beings, how then can we make sense of these seemingly pointless repetitions we are calling human life? Philosophers have labored over the meaning of life for millennia, and they still ponder the question till today. Where is all this going to? What's the point? Now, if one looks at the human life only from the physical point of view, these questions can never be answered. There appears to be something obviously missing in the equation. It's like looking at an incomplete picture. Most times, it will not make any sense, and it could actually mislead. The entire picture will need to be considered to be able to make sense of it. Man is not only physical, but also exists in other forms. Life on this physical planet is only a very, very small part of the entire picture. The limits of a man's life on earth is just the small part of his journey. What we call death here is just another link in a very long chain. It is not the end as we see it, but actually close to the very beginning. The period between physical birth and death of a man is less than 1% of his journey. He is just starting at that point. But to us, because it is all we know, it seems like the whole thing. But boy, we are wrong. Just the way a baby in a womb cannot have the faintest concept of the world outside the womb, we have no idea how vast and infinitely transcendent the world beyond this physical life really is. To the baby in the womb, all that exists is the womb. That's all it knows. The baby asks itself, what am I doing here? What is the point being here? Just like our life on earth, the baby's existence in the womb seems pointless to the baby. It's only after the baby is born and grow up, the baby now understands the place of the womb in his journey. In that same way, we can only understand life after we are already dead, unless we get higher information from someone outside the womb of this earth. That is, if we have the capacity to even understand what the person is saying. Since a baby in the womb has not learned the language of the outside world and the things of the outside world, whatever you say to the baby may not make any sense to the baby. So the best thing is to simply leave the baby and let them see when they are born. Just as Abraham told the rich man in the parable of Lazarus and the rich man, the living will never believe the testimony of the dead. So they will know when they get there. Isn't it funny? While in this womb we call physical life, the tests and trials we have to endure will never make sense. Just like the baby grows legs and hands in the womb but doesn't use it in the womb. We also develop attributes in this life that sometimes seem pointless. This is because things like our spiritual development are meant for stages of our life that is beyond the limits of this present life. There is another level of existence awaiting each and every one of us, where the mental and spiritual development we acquire here will be brought to use. Let us not think it pointless to pass through tests and temptations of all kinds. Whatever reward we see in this life are not the purpose of the training, but mere tips to keep us invested. Now, you may not believe this, but nothing that happens in this present life is a big thing within the grand scheme of things. It's like things that happens in nursery school. There's still many stages to go. This stage is more like pre-beginning. It only seems like a big deal to us because the scope of our minds in this present life is so small. This is also why we hang on so tight to this life, afraid to die, because it's all we have ever known, while higher things await us in the next life. The experiences we go through in this life are meant to prepare us for greater challenges of the next life. Now, I'm not speaking of reincarnation. I mean, there is a life after this one. The things done in this present life determine our entry point or level of entry in the next. However, our development still continues even there, because even the next life is not the end. Those who say heaven at last are so wrong. Everyone exists forever, but not under the same condition or level. Your mental and spiritual development in this life determines your entry point into the next. I cannot go into great detail in this episode, but preparation for the next life is not about flesh and blood, just as Christ said, but your mental and spiritual condition is the key. If you fail to learn and acquire the requisite knowledge needed for the next life, you are shooting yourself in the leg. So don't live with only this life in mind. It's a pointless existence, regardless of whatever you have achieved or you plan to achieve here. Now this brings me to the heart of the matter. The incarnation of the Christ was specifically designed to build a bridge for humanity into that next life. Like I said, everyone exists forever, but not everyone lives forever. Believe me when I tell you that you absolutely need that life that Christ came to offer. It determines what form you will end up in the next life. Now Christ said in the book of John 10:10, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I have come that they might have life and they might have it more abundantly. And again in John 1:4 it says, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. And John 3:15 also said that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Again, John 5:24 says, verily, verily I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me had everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. Now these scriptures I have just quoted all say one thing: Christ has come to offer men an everlasting kind of life. It's not talking about perpetual existence, because everyone has that, but a superior kind of existence. This life in its form cannot be acquired any other way. It brings a far journey right to your doorstep as a gift. It gives you access to the best the next life has to offer. So do not miss out on this. It's been paid for, so it's free. Christ actually came to settle any and every anxiety about the next life, thereby making your existence in this present life suddenly make sense. Do not live your life for the sake of acquisitions that can only serve you in this life, but live with the next life in view. Do not shy away from the acquisition of knowledge about the next life so that you can be properly equipped to enter into it. It's like traveling into a country without learning anything about where you are going to. Take every opportunity to learn about the life beyond the grave, to help you have a peaceful transit from one level of existence into the next. Take some time to think about it. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.
Hope you were blessed by these teachings. For inquiry, support, and contributions, kindly send us an email on epignosis721@gmail.com. You can also send us a message via WhatsApp on 234-80-3577-3659. We would love to hear from you. God bless you.